Has America been, or is America, a great scientific nation? And if so, where did it start? We're going to talk about that a little bit today. We're going to talk about some facts that Nikki knows about. She's got a great segment lined up for you. It's one that you won't want to miss. And can I just say, I think we need to be ready for long-legged Macy. I'll just tease you with that.
Huh?
Long-legged Macy.
What?
You don't want to miss that segment. We've got the screw tape letters. We're going to do letter number 14 today. And then we're going to get into Steve Shenanigans. We've got some outdoor videos that he has shot in years past. And we're going to talk about some do's and don'ts when you're out in the outdoors. And that'll be a great segment as well. So welcome again. My name is Charlie, and we are here today to from the 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time Zone. And I trust that everybody has moved their clocks back. It's the middle of the day. If you have not, you might want to get after that pretty quickly. I know that my mom was wanting the clock in the kitchen changed before I went to bed. So we got an early jump on that, and that's okay. But nonetheless, I got a wonderful cast with me today. John Arthur is not here. He is on a work assignment and will be for the next couple weeks. So if he's listening in, hi, John Arthur.
Hey,
Hope
John
you're
Arthur.
having a
Yeah, he's
great
got a
day.
boss assignment, isn't he?
He's out somewhere shooting some film,
Yeah.
from what I understand. So
Over the great
over the Great Sea.
sea. Yeah.
Over the Great
He's-
Sea.
He's
Yep.
over there somewhere.
Come back, John Arthur. Just come back, okay?
I don't
That wasn't a request.
I don't know that he's going to stay over there. He might enjoy the visit,
Yeah,
but
well,
I don't think he.
I will say this, it's getting so traveling internationally anymore, I don't want anything to do with it. It's
Yeah.
just gotten a little edgy for me,
I agree.
but nonetheless.
And besides, the girls are prettier over here than
Oh
over
my
there.
goodness. Listen to her go. This is my darling wife, everyone. Miss Nikki, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. He's stuck with me whether he likes it or not. At this
And I
time,
do like it.
and
I
if
do.
he ever wanted to leave me, he'd have to leave his checkbook behind, so he ain't going nowhere.
I think the comments are going to be stirring up pretty fast now. I can see it now. Everybody's lip watching and they're going, phone that, hey, get the friends on.
Y'all remind me of Tim Hawkins. He said one time, if my wife ever leaves me, I'm going with her.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, my darling, it is good to have you here today. I can see the humor is going to be kicking in big time.
Yeah, I've had some downtime, so.
You've had some downtime. We've got Mr. Steve with us. Mr. Steve, how are you?
Hey, man, I am doing fantastic, Charlie. Looking forward to the videos, man. I think they're
Absolutely.
going to be exciting. And in the process, of course, I will maintain my politically incorrectness while
I
John
would,
Arthur is gone
I
to
would
make
really
him
appreciate
keep
that.
that up.
I wouldn't know what to do if
If you ever got
you
politically.
ever if you got politically correct. I will say that. Rai, the producer guy, how are you?
I'm good. I think this is going to be a fun one today.
I'm hoping so. Yes, indeed. We are geared up for a good show with you. And if you are joining us, thank you for your patronage and watching. I guess I shouldn't say patronage. You're not paying for anything in terms of watching us, but we do appreciate your support and dropping notes in the chat. Please do that. You can catch us on YouTube and Rumble, or whatever your favorite podcast download platform may be. And hundreds of thousands of downloads. Thank you so much for that. We are very grateful for that. And for those of you that may be joining in new today, let us just tell you really quick what we're really about. We like taking the history of our nation and tying it to where we are currently, where we are in this culture right now. And there's a lot of good that has been done in the past. It's not always been perfect by any stretch, and we're not advocating that it has been. But we have a lot that we can learn from and a lot that we should remember so that we don't repeat mistakes. And so today we're going to get into an interesting topic. Mr. Benjamin Franklin. I'll tell you, that dude, he was very important in the founding of our country. And you talk about a person that's a multitasker. And I have to tell you, folks, and I want to be careful here. Please don't accuse me of insulting one or the other. But he has a lot of similarities, I think, to an Elon Musk. He's got his hands in a lot of different things, and there's so much good that he has done for the world in general. When you take a look at Elon Musk, he's done a lot of good in technology, obviously. He's done a lot of good in social media. How many of us are very thankful that he took over Twitter? I'm going to say yes. I'm very thankful for that and unapologetic about it. Too bad, so sad for those that lost their jobs. Maybe stand up for what's right next time. But he's got that. Tesla is obviously quite a thing. And how about SpaceX? He's kind of bailed this nation out in a couple of astronauts specifically. And if it hadn't been for him, Lord knows where they might be right now. And I'm not saying they couldn't have stayed in space longer, but I guarantee you they wanted to come home and expected to do so. And our country, and I'm not going to say anything about Joe Biden leaving them there, but that's basically what he did.
You know,
So-
Charlie, what I find about Benjamin Franklin and a number of the things that he came up with was really quite shocking.
Yes.
It was.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, he caught it.
Oh, no.
You got it,
Oh,
Ryan.
no.
He got it. Even Mr. Ryan got it. Quicker than you two did.
I missed it. I missed it.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Electricity. Electricity.
Shocking.
Shocking. Yes.
Quite shocking.
I missed it.
Good job, Ryan.
Yeah, and he's over there.
I wonder
going,
if anybody
"Oh,
else got
no."
that one.
But but he did. But that wasn't his only contribution. The Franklin stove.
Right.
And today, folks, you can look for a Franklin stove, an original. You can still buy them. They are not manufactured anymore due to regulatory issues. But there are still some Franklin stoves that are out there, and he was producing a stove because he was trying to make it smokeless. Hello. And a lot of stoves today take a lot of inspiration from the Franklin stove.
Yes.
Indeed. So he's still influencing America that way. And obviously Steve's point about the shocking truth of electricity. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about something that is maybe not so well known about the electricity bit. We all know about the kite thing, got that, and we get some of those details wrong, but I'm not worried about that. But there is one invention that he came up with as a result of his work in electricity that has spared a lot of homes. That's a little tease. We'll give you more on that in just a few minutes.
Interesting.
He's got his picture on the $100 bill. I don't know of too many presidents that can claim that kind of clout there. Obviously, I'm talking something other than a $100 bill, but a great achievement there for
Nothing like having plenty of
Benjamin
Benjamins in your pocket.
yeah, that would be.
You know what I mean?
I could use some of those. He obviously was a thinker, and we're just going to dig into all sorts of stuff here in this little segment. So, Ryan, should we get started? Let's
so.
get into cut number one, if we could, please. And these are letters that Franklin wrote back and forth to the Royal Society. There were some that he sent there, and there were some that were coming back. The Royal Society is an organization still in existence today. You can Google it. You can get online, take a look at it. Still a lot of interaction there with the Royal Society, but it was an organization to promote science. And Benjamin Franklin was a scientist. A lot of people don't necessarily think of him as such, but he was indeed. And he was not only a scientist, we're going to talk about some of the other things that he was as well, but that was one of the key pieces of his works. So these letters that we're going to be showing you, they're little snippets, they're little paragraphs, and I want to let you know that you can check the description for the links to these letters. The letters are incredible. I only pulled from like 8 to 10 different letters, if you will, and you're only getting a snippet. There was one letter that was pages. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. But some of these letters were just casual. They're very usual. Some of them were very detailed. And my goal is not necessarily to make you an expert on what Benjamin Franklin was doing, writing back and forth. That's not the goal. I'm wanting to show you a little bit about how science has really been structured as a result of what he did. And that's the key pieces. I've talked about the similarities to Elon Musk. Here's one of those similarities, and we'll talk more as we go on here on this, but Elon Musk is very open about his technology. Do you know that lots of his Tesla patents, they're open? They're not being protected. When you think about today's scientists, what do they typically do with their patents? They keep them very private because they're what? They're worth a lot of money. Isn't it ironic that the richest guy in the world has opened up his patents to the world for the benefit of the world? And he's the richest man in the world. I find that interesting. Give, and it shall be given unto you. That's a biblical concept, biblical principle. All right, Mr. Ryan, let's go ahead and put cut number 1 up there. This is his letter from March 28th in 1747 to Peter Collinson. We'll talk about Peter in just a second. Sir, your kind present of an electric tube with directions for using it has put several of us on making electrical experiments in which we have observed some particular phenomena that we look upon to be new. I shall therefore communicate them to you in my next. He's talking about his next letter. Though possibly they may not be new to you, as among the numbers daily employed in those experiments on your side of the water. 'Tis probable someone or other has hit on the same observations. So again, this is going to Peter Collinson. And Franklin has been working on electricity for a number of years. It's a passion. And that's something else to note about scientists. Scientists that work in the field of science, wherever they have a deep passion, they seem to excel. When you think about an Elon Musk type, when you think about some other great scientists, Dr. Michael Behe, I'm old, there's another one that's slipping my mind here. But the point is this, Dr. Stephen Lyle, there we go. When you think about these different scientists, wherever they're passionate, they excel. They devote a great amount of time. And I'm not sure how much Elon Musk really sleeps. I'm assuming it's not very many hours. I'm assuming it's maybe 4, 5, 6 hours a day, which is for your health is not the greatest thing, but it tells you how much of a passion he has. Benjamin Franklin had a passion for electricity and had been working on it for a number of years. And he was communicating to the Royal Society over in London. Peter Collinson was part of that Royal Society. Now, Peter Collinson, he was a gardener. He was a horticulturist, and he was an arborist, if you will. What's amazing about this is that if you think about the mid-1700s, getting things back and forth from Europe to the U.S., that obviously was going to take some time. And the letters are one thing, but there are a couple of instances in which Collinson actually sent some plants to Benjamin Franklin. And I think that's neat that they would be able to share those kind of things. And I don't know the specifics of those, although you can read those letters and see some of it. But it's really interesting to see how they communicated. There was a strong dialogue between him and Collinson. He was not the only person that he was communicating with, but he definitely was one of the key people. This is a scientific organization, remember. So what they're doing is they're sharing the information. Now, one thing that Benjamin Franklin was well aware of, as was Collinson, obviously, is that there were a number of people outside of even London that were working quite hard on the electrical issue. As a matter of fact, there's some that would argue about Benjamin Franklin really coming up with the electricity thing. There is some points to be made that he was. But my point in bringing that up is that there were a number of people working on this, and it's amazing how much information they shared with each other, because it was very helpful. And we're going to talk about the benefits of that kind of thing as we get a little deeper in this. So a lot of dialogue going on between these two. Let's go to the next cut there, Mr. Ryan. And whoop, there we go. My fault. For my own part, this is March 28th now, 1747. For my own part, I never was before engaged in any study that so totally engrossed my attention and my time as this has lately done. For what with making experiments when I can be alone and repeating them to my friends and acquaintance, who, from the novelty of the thing, come continually in crowds to see them, I have, during some months past, had little leisure for anything else. This speaks to just the incredible passion that Benjamin Franklin had for this. And not only was he excited about it, as he was sharing things about it with other people, guess what it was doing? It was drawing them in. And folks, can I just say this? There are some things that you may be passionate about, but you kind of keep to yourself. I would say this, it's probably good if you share it. You never know what you might be doing to stoke the coals of somebody else pertaining to a particular topic, whatever it might be. It might even stoke them into a different area, but because of what you shared, it's given them pause to think about something. This is a great and very clear example of Benjamin Franklin being very passionate about this, not having much time for anything else, but you can see that what he was doing was drawing people in. They were genuinely interested in what was going on. And this is the late 1740s. I think that it would have been interesting to live during his time. Can you imagine walking the street and here's Benjamin Franklin outside of his home front or something, and he's just talking with another person about his electrical stuff, and you just happen to hear a little bit about it and you stop. Probably with some excitement going on, I'm sure. And yeah, there were frustrations. He definitely had frustrations. You can read some of those letters and you can see it. But nonetheless, he was very excited about what he was working on. Mr. Ryan, cut number 3, if we could, please. This is to Peter, May 25th, 1747. The repellency between the cork ball and shot is likewise destroyed. By sifting fine sand on it, this does it gradually. Number 2, by breathing on it. Number 3, by making a smoke about it from burning wood. Number 4, by candlelight, even though the candle is at a foot distance. These do it suddenly. The light of a bright coal from a wood fire and the light of a red-hot iron do it likewise, but not at so great a distance. Now, you might be wondering, Charlie, okay, that was kind of boring. No, look at the detail. Look at what he's doing. He's sharing the specifics of the steps. Now, I want you to think about this. He's trying to benefit mankind. He's sitting here in America. Others are sitting overseas. And he's trying to get everybody on the same page so that they can come up with what? Electricity, to figure it out. And in today's science world, this would be structured differently. Okay? there's all sorts of formality that we could put to this. But here's what I want you to know. The detail that goes into this. There is one particular letter that we're going to talk about in just a second. It's coming up in one or two more cuts. The detail in it was absolutely incredible. And the help that had to have been to those over in the Royal Society had to have been profound. So I want you to think about the difficulty. How long would it take to get a letter over there? Yeah, ships were sailing pretty regular, but they didn't get there in a day or two. It wasn't FedEx. It might have been ShipX. I don't know. But it wasn't FedEx when it absolutely had to be there sometime next week, right? That's the difference that you're talking about. It's a much, much slower pace to get this information across. So I was just struck by some of the detail of this letter. This is to Peter Collinson again. Let's go to cut number 4, Ryan. This is from Peter to Benjamin Franklin, and this was on April 13th, 1748. Respected friend, and I want you to start to notice some of the language about how they think of each other. Respected friend, I was very fortunate to receive both thy curious experiments on electricity. I have imparted them to the Royal Society, to whom they are very acceptable, and they are now in the hands of our ingenious friend, Mr. Watson, who has promised as soon as his accounts are printed to them, to send them to thee with a letter and hopes for thy further favors. Now, these letters are much longer than this. Let me remind you that the letters, these are snippets of these letters. If you go to the links in the description, you would be able to click on a few of these and you will see what kind of detail there is to those and how long they were. Some of them were short, but there were quite a few that were very lengthy. And so I'm just giving you a short little snippet when I'm sharing these. But I wanted you to note the respected friend line there. That was number one, because you can tell that this is starting to really hone in on the camaraderie of accomplishing something like this. He's being Benjamin Franklin is being received very well into the Royal Society. And as I noted earlier, it still exists today. If you go to the website for the Royal Society, and I don't know as I put that link in there, I will tell you that if you just Google Royal Society, it's the only link that will pop up. You'll see it. You can take a look at the current membership, and it's hundreds of scientists, and they are from all around the world. It is not just England. It is not just Americans. I'm talking all over. You're talking people from South Korea. You're talking Chinese. You're talking Japanese. You're talking Middle East. Truly an international organization. There's a lot of different people in there. I'm not saying that they're all conservative-minded like maybe I am in the U.S., but their goal is to promote science, for sure. So
Real science.
Real science, absolutely.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So what were they thinking at the time? What was electricity going to do for them? What was
I don't think they knew at the moment.
They just knew there was some sort of powerful.
They knew that there was something powerful there. And one of the, I appreciate you asking that question, because one of the things that Donald Trump has done for our country is what? He has promoted the use of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before some of you folks that are green people that might be watching or listening on the podcast, let's be real careful here. We are not opponents of green energy. We're okay with wind energy. We're okay with some of those things. John Arthur's not here. I can't speak for him. I don't know for sure where he's at. But I will say this. I am not for green energy at the expense of everything else. I hope that got heard. Okay, that it's foolish.
What was that
to
again?
get rid of.
Say that again, Charlie.
So I am not for green energy at the expense of all else,
You mean
Right.
like fossil fuels.
do you mean that we've lived on this earth all this time with cow farts and we're okay and we're going to be okay in the future?
I am actually. I have dreamed about doing this. I'm not sure if it's going to work out. I've dreamed about doing this. I've dreamed about getting a herd of 200 cattle and taking a big old picture and just sending it to AOC and
Put
just
them in a
wishing
bean
her a
field.
happy flatulence day.
Put them in a bean field.
Yeah. Oh man, absolutely, absolutely. No, in all seriousness, guys, not opposed to wind energy, in things like that. There's a lot of cool things that have happened there. Geothermal is a very interesting one.
Oh,
I think we should
yeah.
continue to try to
Yeah, absolutely.
have clean energy
Yep.
the best we can, but not at the sacrifice.
Not at the sacrifice of fossil fuels.
I agree.
And so the point of me bringing that up goes back to your question again. Why did Trump do that? Because he sees it as something vital. What did Benjamin Franklin see? And all those people that were studying electricity at that time, what did they see? They saw an energy source, something that could potentially do something. That's what they saw.
But they probably didn't know what it could
They
do.
didn't know what it could do at the moment. But it wasn't too much later. And what do we got? We have electric in buildings. Yeah. So you're talking.
Well, that was a long, I mean, that,
It was less than 100 years after that.
well, yeah, 100 years is a long time, but I
Yes. Well, considering 2,000 years,
mean, you know,
right? So it was absolutely cutting edge. Let's go to cut number 5, Ryan, if we could, please. This is to John Mitchell. He's another person as part of the Royal Society. This is April 29th, 1749. Sir, observations and suppositions towards forming a new hypothesis, he's using that language of scientists, for explaining the several phenomena of thunder gusts. 1, non-electrical bodies that have electric fire thrown into or on them will retain it, till other non-electrics that have less approach, and then 'tis communicated by a snap and becomes equally divided. Now, this was an interesting letter, and I want to encourage you, if you've got time, go give it a read, because he goes into a lot of extra information here on this. But this is, I want you to note some of the scientific language. Did Benjamin Franklin invent science? Not on your life, not even close. Did he help structure it? Most definitely. Because as you will see, even from his time moving forward, there was the start of a lot of formality put to science. When you look at what science has done in America this last 200 years, 200 plus years, we owe a lot of it to just the structure that Benjamin Franklin put behind it. There were other great scientists, don't get me wrong, but it was Franklin who really solidified the structure in using the language in how to present these things. Really good stuff there. I want you to think about the resources that were available to people like Franklin during his life. There would be basically 2 things. They were books and people. What do we go to today? We've got books. We've got the internet. We do still have people. You get what I'm saying here? The speed at which we access that information is just light years, if I could use that term, ahead of where Franklin was. The books that Franklin got were just absolute prizes. Very, very helpful in his work. And let's go to cut number 6, because now you're going to see how this ties in a little bit. This is from Peter Collinson, February 5th, 1750. I have so many obligations to my kind friend that I dedicated a time to visit all the booksellers in London to search for foreign electrical books, and could only find 2 in French. One I take to be the same I sent for thy perusal, but could not be certain which else had not brought forth, for I sent it away just as I had received it from France. So you can see what Collinson was trying to do to help to help Benjamin Franklin. He was going to the booksellers trying to find anything that he could that would help him. That's what teamwork is in science, folks. That's what we want to see. We don't want to see things that are being kept clouded or in secret. That's not benefiting mankind. That's benefiting one person's potential pocketbook. And what's sad is that the way that our college systems work today, if you're a scientist, especially one involved in academia, you're going to try everything you can to make yourself look the greatest so that you can get the funding. And you're going to tote the line that some of those organizations that are giving the money, you're going to tote the line that they want you to tote.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's that? You don't believe in evolution? Oh, well, no money from us. Sorry, bye. That's the way they're treated. And that's not the way it should be. Are we promoting science or are we promoting ideology? If you want to know who your great scientists are, find the ones that truly promote science and not ideology. That would really be.
Do you know, I have a.
Go ahead.
I was listening to a podcast about a scientist who said that science does prove a young Earth. And one of the things he brought out was this woman was looking at dinosaur bones. And I could be mistaken, but I think what she said was she saw something in the bone that if it had been millions of years, there's no way possible that it could be there.
Mm-hmm.
And so her conclusion was, but dinosaurs are millions of years old, therefore this can't be true.
And
Not millions of years could not be true, because that was the foundation.
Yeah.
That's their foundation. If your foundation is dinosaurs were millions of years ago, and you're looking at some evidence that might suggest otherwise, you will dismiss it because it doesn't go with the
absolutely
foundation of what you're building your science on, which is incorrect science.
Steve, did you have something? I didn't want to cut you off there.
No, yeah. I was just going to make a comment that in the chat, there's getting some really good comments on the cow comment that was made. I appreciate your comments in the chat. Excellent.
Oh my!
But
Only for AOC.
in regards to the young Earth that you were talking about,
Yeah.
I read an article on dolomite,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and they were talking about the creation of dolomite and how it's formed. And the formation of dolomite does not coincide or go along with an old Earth
With the years.
because of the
Interesting.
way it is formed. It has to be formed quick, lots of heat, real quick and fast.
Mm-hmm.
Not over time, slowly formed. Dolomite has to be done quickly with a lot of heat, just the same way a young Earth was done during the flood.
In that
Yeah.
right there, so that's a really interesting point there, Steve, because I think that's going to the heart of what I'm talking about. We can disagree on these things, but we have to be open that we could have been wrong. And I think that's where a lot of science, and I want to get into my next point about this. When it comes to science, if you are truly trying to promote an ideology, you are going to get away from doing true science. And I think when you look at what Satan has been doing over the course of the last thousands of years, I'm talking a couple thousand for sure, he is trying to destroy what God created in the beginning. Of all the books, and here's a fact for you folks, you can check this out. When it comes to the Bible, what is the most attacked book in all of the Bible? It is not Revelation. It is not Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It is not Romans, certainly not Psalms or Proverbs. It's Genesis. Because, folks, if you don't have the book of Genesis, you don't have a Bible.
Correct.
You have no need of Christ. You have no need of God. Nothing. If you don't have Genesis, you have no need of any of it. It is the most attacked book. So, is it any wonder that we've seen hot debates over evolution? Is it any wonder that we've had hot debates over the age of the earth? There's a lot of debate that can be had about the age of the earth. I can get into that. Millions of years? I don't think so.
I think
I don't think so.
that, from what I understand, that is actually losing traction in the scientific field because of intelligent design. They're not going to call it God created the world, but they're going to call it, there's too much here that says it could not just happen by chance.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
intelligent design. Now, they don't want to label it as God created it, but they can't refute the evidence
Right.
that
Yeah.
there's too much here that says there was thought involved in this creation.
And in reference to the Dolomite that I was talking about, there's a mountain range that is full of Dolomite, of a whole mountain range.
So explain to us what exactly that is. What is dolomite?
I don't.
Go
So
ahead.
it's a form of rock.
It's a right.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
I
a
don't
form
want to.
of rock crystal type stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too bogged down in
Yeah.
that. I do appreciate you bringing it up, though, Steve.
But
'cause
it makes
it's important.
reference to
Yeah.
young Earth,
Absolutely.
the making of it.
Absolutely. Let's go to cut number 7, if we could, Ryan. I shall be glad. This is from Peter. And this is February 5th. Did I read that one? Oh, no, I did not. I shall be glad to hear the books came safe in print of London. I am now out of town to shake off the city dust, so have not my memorandums with me. So, my dear friend, farewell. It's late and I am tired. Thine, P. Collinson. I found this to be one of the most respectful endings to one of Collinson's letters. If you'll note there, so my dear friend, farewell. It's late and I am tired. Have you had those days? Sure you have. Sure you have. And you know how you communicated it? Text. Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's how it got done. But this was 1750. Takes a little time to communicate that, for sure. They worked hard. They worked late, just like we do. No doubt about it. And again, just the friendly ending to that letter. Ryan, let's go to cut number 8, if we could, please.
Imagine how long it took for letters to
Yeah,
get back and forth to each other.
I have to
Harlan.
wonder.
Over the
I'm
sea.
thinking,
Was it 6 weeks? 2 months?
I'm thinking it's weeks, because there were a few letters, and I don't know. I can't assume that a letter had been received back before another one went out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Franklin might have sent one in one particular month, and a few weeks later sent another one. I can't say that there was anything that came back before that. That would be a very bad assumption. But what you just said, I think, is true. How often? And I've got to believe that weeks,
It's interesting you say that, because we are talking multiple weeks before you receive, because you're going to receive a letter. You might not sit down that day and answer the letter.
well, yeah, and it's still got to get delivered. I mean, it comes off the ship, and here's a bit of trivia. To go along with this, who was the first Postmaster General of the U.S.?
Oh, I know him. God, I can't remember his name. I know my American.
Steve's missing it. Darlin, you want to take a guess? Those of you that are watching, anybody know?
Anybody want to give me the answer?
I'll give it to you in just a moment. I'm going to give everybody on the chat just a quick second. First Postmaster General.
That's interesting.
I love it. Triple T.
Yep.
You got it.
Yep. That's
Benjamin
right.
Franklin.
Yep.
He was your first. This is probably an organization I wished he had done a little bit better lasting work. But no, that's okay. I'll take the other stuff that he did. But nonetheless,
You know,
it was Benjamin Franklin.
It's interesting how
Yeah.
long they had to wait for a response, because this week I was either talking to a customer or a vendor, and we were passing information back, and I said, just give me a second and I'll send you this email so you can see it correctly.
Yep.
And so we're sitting there on the phone, and within a matter of just seconds,
Yep.
she had the information in front of her for confirmation, and on we went.
Pretty
Which is
wild.
So
Pretty
different,
wild.
man.
Cut number 8, Mr. Ryan. This is to Peter Collinson, February the 4th, 1751. Dear sir, I received yours, that's your letter, of October 4th via New England with the account of what you have laid out on books and mathematical instruments for the academy, by which I perceive there is but about 20 pounds in your hands, much too little, I fear, for the philosophical apparatus. I want you to think about the sharing of equipment. That is still done today, believe it or not. Listen to this. This is really incredible. This is what goes on in our scientific world. You've got CRISPR research advanced in months instead of decades due to DNA plasmids and lab tools being sent to thousands of labs worldwide. DNA has become immensely useful just in the last 20 to 30 years. Incredible. And it's because of the sharing of equipment. NASA ships small space hardware and receives custom-built components from private companies and universities. Student-built satellites, CubeSats, are launched into orbit using NASA-provided equipment. Labs commonly share electron microscopes, laser interferometers, and cryogenic freezers. This is all in the science world. These things cost millions of dollars, and it's shared for the benefit of whom? Mankind. Are we looking for ideology, or are we looking for science? Get it? Time on, here's something interesting. Time on particle accelerators and supercomputers are shared across international networks. Amazing. It's amazing. And who was one of the early ones to do this? He wasn't the only one. Be careful. Don't think that I'm trying to assess that Benjamin Franklin was the one that started all this. No,
Got a
no.
couple of people in the chat
Yep.
talking about protect your DNA.
Yes. Yes.
Duly noted.
Yes.
Duly noted. And I'm not
Mhm.
sure to what extent that can be done,
Don't offer
but
it. to-
yeah, duly noted. I appreciate that comment being made.
With some people, they'll send in their DNA to find their history or,
Ancestry
Yes.
and stuff.
and
Yep.
probably not a good idea.
Yeah.
Yep. Mr. Ryan, cut number 9, because we got to keep moving here. This is to Peter Collinson, June 29th, I believe. Did I get that right? June 28th or 29th, 1751. Small
29th.
cartridge. Thank you. Small cartridge is filled with dry powder, hard rammed so as to bruise some of the grains. 2 pointed wires are then thrust in, one at each end, the points approaching each other in the middle of the cartridge, till within the distance of half an inch. Then the cartridge being placed in the circle, when the 4 jars are discharged, the electric flame leaping from the point of one wire to the point of the other within the cartridge among the powder fires it, and the explosion of the powder is at the same instant with the crack of the discharge. I am, sir, your humble servant. Wow. This is a result of one of the instruments, and he was explaining experiments, and he was explaining how to execute the experiment. That's what he was doing. If you can imagine, when you're doing something like this, you want to be very careful with your words and make sure that you're very precise with what you're trying to communicate. A misunderstanding could be deadly, right? I think that would be the case. And this letter kind of shows some of the detail going in to what was being experimented with. And again, note the language at the end. I am your humble servant. Love that. Love that. These experiments, some of them were dangerous. By the way, Benjamin Franklin did not stand outside doing the kite. No. He did do a kite, and he had the long string, and of course the key, but he was standing inside of a covered area, I believe a home, inside a window. He knew what the ramifications of it could be. So,
Well, they had people that got hit by lightning back then.
absolutely.
And that was, must have been a key.
Were you trying to be funny there? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I didn't really mean to say that like that.
Ryan, you gotta save
that
me,
had to
dude.
be shocking.
Yeah, very shocking. Very shocking. Cut number 10, Ryan, before we lose total control.
I can't.
I know. This is to Peter Collinson, February 4th, 1751. However, having added Mr. Kinnersley's jars and mine together, in all 5, though not fully charged, we killed a turkey with them of about 10-pound weight, and supposed they would have killed a much larger. I conceit that the birds killed in this manner eat uncommonly tender. So this is one of your first looks at experiments with animals. And yes, I'm sure that PETA would be thrilled about this today. But I have to note, is it not funny? Uncommonly tender? Did we get our first experiment with microwave? Just saying. Might have.
Sounds like Franklin likes turkey.
Well, I think it was a very common bird.
Back then, I don't doubt it. Well, back then, in that part of the country, they had the eastern turkey, which was very, very. There were a lot of birds back then in the east.
Yep.
Very beautiful, very, very pretty birds, and there were quite a few of them, and they were pretty good sized birds too.
Yeah. Dynamex, appreciate the question there. I don't have anything on Franklin's glass harmonica, and we're not going to be covering anything on that today. But I do appreciate you bringing it up because it goes to, yet again, one of the things that he contributed to. Really interesting there. So just to remind everyone, we're covering letters from Benjamin Franklin to the Royal Society. Ryan, let's go to cut number 11, if we could, please. And this is January 24th, 1752. By this post, I send to Dr. Perkins, who is curious in that way, some meteorological observations and conjectures, and desire him to communicate them to you, as they may afford you some amusement. And I know you will look over them with a candid eye. By throwing our occasional thoughts on paper, we more readily discover the defects of our opinions, or we digest them better, and find new arguments to support them. This I sometimes practice, but such pieces are fit only to be seen by friends. Okay, so James Bowdoin is another person in the Royal Society, but here's what I want you to see here. There is a total admission here by Franklin that not everything is what we want to write home about. He understands that there may be defects in his opinions. There may be defects in the ways that the experiments are being conducted. And what is Franklin? He is open to hearing what those might be. Why? To benefit everybody. The idea is to benefit mankind. Are the scientists of today like that? Some are, for sure. There are some that are definitely not. How dare you criticize? I could go to the lengths of speaking about some in our recent past with regards to COVID, but I won't. So I want you to understand, folks, that when we're talking about sharing things, especially in the science world, it should be done for the benefit of all. And it's not always going to be pretty. I hope that we've got some folks listening today that maybe are engaged in science. Maybe they want to be a scientist one day. Don't be afraid to have your ideas and your thoughts criticized. You're going to be the one that benefits from it too. And that's okay. In the end, who are we trying to really promote? Is it ourselves or mankind. Mr. Ryan, cut number 12, if we could, please. If I can get to mine. There we go. Okay, this takes on a very different tone. February 17th, 1752. This is from John Perkins. The smallpox threatens spreading here, and some of our people are running into a course of tar water as a preparative. If your doctors have found any benefit by any previous medicinal management to the common way of infection, I should be glad to know it for the safety of such as are not pleased with inoculation and for the ameliorating this too. I believe something may be done in this matter and would promote trials of everything likely, though I differ from my brethren in the affair of diet. So science, if in and of itself, can be a lot of fun to get into. It leads to a lot of discovery of new things, so on and so forth. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its challenges. Financial is not one of them only. You also had the issue of health. And smallpox was a very big issue during the mid-1700s, as you can imagine. And this is a plea from John Perkins to Benjamin Franklin. Maybe, Ben, don't be afraid to get away from your thoughts on electric. We're needing help in this area too. And I just found this to be a really compelling letter to consider what was going on. Again, you can check the links out for the full letter and everything, and I would encourage you to do that. Cut number 13, Ryan, if we could, please.
Boy, you know something?
Yes, go ahead.
Tar water doesn't sound
It doesn't
like
sound
a
good, does it?
thing
No.
to be doing.
Nope.
And that really, really does.
Don't think, maybe we could compare it to castor oil? Who knows?
I don't know. That just doesn't sound
Yep.
like a good thing. And
Another letter from James Bowdoin is March 2nd, 1752. In company with a number of gentlemen, I went to take a view of the city from the Dutch church steeple, in which is a clock about 20 or 25 feet below the bell. From the clock went a wire through 2 floors to the clock hammer near the bell. The holes in the floors, for the wire being about a 1/4 inch diameter. We were told that in the spring of 1750, the lightning struck the clock hammer and descended along the wire to the clock, melting in its way several spots of the wire from 3 to 9 inches long through 1/3 of its substance, till coming within a few feet of the lower end, it melted the wire quite through in several places so that it fell down in several pieces, which spots and pieces we saw. Well, here's a clear indication. They know that lightning is an issue. It's very clear. What else would have melted those wires?
Well, they're taking note also of where the lightning
Struck.
yes, and
absolutely.
what path it followed.
Yep. Absolutely right. So this is a very interesting sharing that happened from the Royal Society to Benjamin Franklin.
And they're realizing that obviously the type of material they're using is not working out at the size that it is.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm sure the materials on the clock, there's wood, more than likely wood, and then they have the wire. And I'm sure they're making an observation of what was damaged, what was not damaged
Right.
at that time.
Yep. So a really interesting thing there. I thought it was a great letter to be shared. Ryan, we're going to skip number 14 because it's a continuation of that. And I'll tell you what, throw it up there for just a quick second. That way people can pause the video if they are watching this online in the future. Okay, let's go to cut number 15 if we could. And this is a letter from James Bowdoin again, March 2nd, 1752. Your information about your globe raising electrical fire in greater quantity by means of wire extended from the cushion to the earth will enable me, I hope, to remedy a great inconvenience I have been under to collect the fire with the electrifying glass I use, which is fixed in a very dry room 3 stories from the ground. When you have the pleasure, I'm sorry, when you send your meteorological observations to Dr. Perkins, I hope I shall have the pleasure of seeing them. I heartily congratulate you on your advancement in public life, but I hope it will not be the means of diverting your thoughts from philosophical subjects, which would be a real injury. I speak it without flattery. And note that phrase. I appreciated that phrase. To the philosophical world, with the great respect I am, yours, James Bowdoin. I have a high level of respect for that because remember what I told you. Franklin is an inventor. He's a scientist. He's also a philosopher. And some of our greatest scientists have also been philosophers. They answer questions. I like the way that Dr. Del Tackett really illustrated this in the Truth Project, a really good Bible study. It's a Bible study on a proper biblical worldview, and one of the best studies I've ever been a part of. And I just want to say that he really relates something in there that I think is very poignant. It's very important for us to see. When it comes to something like this, we're talking about Bowdoin making a statement. I speak it without flattery. We can sometimes become very self-absorbed and very proud in what we do. What he was trying to do, what Bowdoin was really trying to do was, hey, Ben, I know that you are a great scientist. I'm trying to make the case that you're an equally good, if not better, philosopher. Now that ties in an awful lot with the founding of America. If you think about the different things that Benjamin Franklin contributed to the founding of America, it's through deep thought. And our nation owes a great debt of gratitude for him for that. So I really wanted to pull this out because I wanted you to see that he's not just a scientist. He's not just an inventor. He's a great philosopher. And for those of you out there, don't be afraid to get deep into thinking. Don't be afraid to do that. It's really great to search out the truths of God. And if you start with God, you'll much quicker find those truths. And that actually goes to the issue of science as well. One more letter that I want to share with you, and that is Ryan, cut number 16. And this is the kite experiment. Again, this is just a small snippet of that letter. Again, you can find the link in the description. You can take a look at the whole letter. But here's what it says. Make a small cross of 2 light strips of cedar, the arms so long as to reach to the 4 corners of a large, thin silk handkerchief when extended. Tie the corners of the handkerchief to the extremities of the cross, so you have the body of a kite, which, being properly accommodated with a tail, loop, and string, will rise in the air like those made of paper, but this being of silk is fitter to bear the wet and wind of thunder gust without tearing. Something that we would take very for granted today. We would know what we'd want to put on our kite. They had to test through stuff. Really interesting. But this kite experiment is one of the pinnacle moments for Benjamin Franklin. And I talked a little bit earlier about other great scientists, Dr. Michael Behe, Dr. Stephen Miller. You got Dr. Francis Collins. I've talked about Elon Musk. There's others. Franklin made science public and practical. He made it collaborative, but he believed in peer review and communication. And dare we say that he made science patriotic? You could make a case that America is a great scientific nation. Now, I'm not saying that we've done real well in the last 30, 40, 50 years. I think there's some ground that we've given up. but I also believe that we're heading in the right direction. I like some of the ideas that Trump has put forth, but I want you to remember this first and foremost: when it comes to science, we should be sharing, not holding tight. We want to benefit mankind. The influence of Benjamin Franklin is being felt even today, still. And we owe a lot to him for what he's done. Miss Nikki, final thoughts on that?
No, I would agree with you. I think that Benjamin Franklin was a great thinker. I think you can compare him quite a bit to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I really do. Had so many different areas that he could speak to. Very important at the time.
We should know we're not saying that any of these scientists are perfect. You might have your issues with some of them. I would caution you to be very careful about allowing your politics to get involved with the science. I'm not saying that it can't, but what I am saying is that we want to be careful not to resist ideas that would benefit us at the sake of politics. That's what I'm saying. So I hope I articulated that fairly well. Mr. Steve, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think it was really great that Benjamin Franklin took the effort to reach across the sea to talk to someone in a different country about his experiments to see that if they were doing the same thing, and if not, how to do them and perform them successfully.
Yes.
And he was very astute at pointing out how he performed his
and it took time to do
experiments.
that. It didn't their communication didn't happen like that.
Correct.
It took time.
Right. And it just goes to show that, you know, during that time, they were really big on sharing information.
Yep.
To get things back and forth to each other, say, hey, look what I'm doing. Whereas nowadays, it's like a lot of people keep things close to their chest and
Sure.
don't want
Well,
to share anything.
people steal information now. And so they have to, a lot
do.
of times, you
Oh,
keep
yeah.
it close to your chest to protect somebody, you know, from
Right.
stealing your information.
Corporate espionage
Well,
goes
yes.
on big time.
Mr.
You're right.
Ryan, you got thoughts? He's thinking. He's not sure he's got thoughts.
Come on, Ryan, you got to have
That's
something.
okay.
I'll have some at the end of the show.
All right.
Oh,
that sounds
man.
good.
He's busy working.
He's
Yeah.
we appreciate Ryan doing what he does for sure.
You bet.
Yep. Okay. Well, it is time to get into the fun part of the show today. And I told you that we were going to talk about Longlegs Macy. All right. So Nikki knows facts, you know, and she does. Miss Nikki, you absolutely know a lot of facts. So Ryan, let's get going with her stuff if we could. And 10 cool Guinness Book of World Records stories.
Yes.
Wow.
This was, but you actually helped me give me the idea for this, so
Well, that's
I can't take all the credit. So, okay, well, let's find out some interesting facts here with the world record.
Hold on. Did you show the front page
Yep.
on here?
He did.
Okay,
He did.
good deal.
Absolutely.
I'm doing my job.
There's no
Yeah.
words. There's no words that go along with that, like mine.
No music.
God,
We gotta get her.
we got to come up with
Actually, John
something.
Arthur does have music to that.
Does he?
Yeah, he does
just
have. He has something to
He
it. I
hasn't
don't.
loaded it up yet.
Oh, okay.
Apparently not.
Well, we got to get
All
that
right.
taken care of.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, let's put in cut number 18. It's time to meet Long-Legged Macy.
So the world record for the longest legs.
Sorry. Sorry.
Hi, folks. I wished you could see Ryan's face on that one. It
like-
was absolutely priceless.
It's like, what in the world?
Go ahead, put it back up there, Ryan. That's great. Go ahead, Nikki.
Macy Curran has the longest legs for a female.
Yep.
They measure, where I'm going to give it to you in inches,
Oh my.
53.255 inches for her left leg
Doggone. Wow.
and 52.874 inches for the right leg. And
Man,
this was measured on February 21st, 2020. She is actually
that is over
6
4 feet.
she's 6'10".
That's 4 foot of legs.
Now-
Over 4 foot of legs, man.
Ryan, I don't know what you were
Yes.
thinking when you saw those legs, but I know what I was thinking when I saw those legs is I was thinking that's a lot of area to break. I mean, she's going to fall a lot further than what the rest of us are, and there's a lot of leg there. And
There-
that's all I
there's some
could think
points to
about.
that.
Man,
All I could think about is that would be an easy thing to break.
Yep.
that's a long ways to fall.
It is.
And you know, Macy, I I doubt Macy's watching today. I would want Macy to know, you go, girl. You go with that height. That
I
height
would-
it's a blessing. Some might call it a curse, but God makes us the way that we are for a reason.
I would
right.
say this. I'm very sorry. I know shopping for
Oh
clothes
my. Oh
and
my.
shoes
I feel for her mom
has
and
got to be.
dad. Yep. Well, I feel for her now because she's over 20.
Yeah, that's got to be hard. Okay, let's move on to number 2. The next
Man.
one. This here is called the human calculator.
This is Aaron Shukla.
He can do mental math quicker than you can type it into your calculator. Yes, he is a 14-year-old prodigy from, can you say that word? India? From,
Hold on here, folks. It is Maharashtra
okay. And,
From that place.
yes.
from that place.
Now, he left the audience speechless when he set a record for the fastest time to do mentally. Now, listen, this is mentally. He took 5 digits, say 23,178. That's a 5-digit number, and you have 50 of them down the column. And he solved that in a mere 25.19 seconds.
Wow. Wow.
That's pretty fast.
Wow.
He did this on a Italian TV series, Low Show Die Record or something like that.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm saying that wrong because it's an Italian show.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having a brain that could do that?
Man.
That's pretty wild.
I'm sure he'll have no trouble in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. We're going to love this one.
Oh,
This
come
is
on.
Lou the
Lou.
Coonhound. He broke the record for the long.
She.
Oh,
She.
sorry.
That's a
Yes, it does
she.
say her.
She.
Yes.
That's
Let's
a
not.
she.
She
Let's
broke
be
the record.
gender
Well,
correct
the
here.
name is Lou, so I would
Don't
think Lou,
misgender
but
the puppy.
Please.
Sorry.
These ears measure 13.38 inches.
Get out.
That's a long ear.
You can do a lot of hearing with that.
You know, I'm sure a lot of you wish your children had ears like that so they could listen to you. That's what I'm. By the way, we got these out of the Guinness World Book of Records, so if you want to look that up.
Oh, brown eyes. That's a funny comment regarding Arian. I mean, he works for the CIA. I
Maybe
love it. I love it.
he probably needs to work for the IRS.
And
He
Tim
might
Mull,
end
yes,
up working for the
Yeah.
CIA.
those are big ears. Those are
Okay,
big ears.
those are.
That's a great dog.
It
That
is.
is a great dog.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. Are you hungry?
All right, let's hold up on this.
Oh.
I want to put something out here real quick, folks. No, put it back up there, Ryan.
Oh.
Put it back up there. So this one here, you'll see Pizza Hut on this. No, that came with a picture. That is not something that we put on there. I didn't even want it on there. I almost edited it out, but this
Yeah,
is
that was
not this has nothing to do with Pizza Hut, but it does have to do with pizza. Go ahead.
Okay, this is the largest pizza, and it measures from side to side 13,957.77
13,000
feet.
square feet.
What?
Square feet.
Square feet, I'm sorry. And this was achieved by Air Rack in Los Angeles, California on January 19th, 2023. Now get this. Here's the ingredients for this pizza. 13,653 pounds of dough,
Wow.
4,948 pounds of sweet marinara sauce, 8,800 pounds of cheese, and it roughly had 630,496 pepperoni slices. I don't know how many people that could feed, but wow.
So
How did they
Now-
cook that dude? In
well,
pieces?
I have no idea.
yes, I think that's what they did. I'm not positive on that, Steve. We'd have to go back into
there's
the
no oven big
Guinness
enough.
Book records to look at that. I will say this, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong. An acre is it 44,000 square feet?
I think so.
Okay. So if you think about it, this thing was more than a quarter acre in size.
That is
amazing.
amazing.
That is some pizza.
That is amazing.
I want to find out how much it costs to put all those ingredients together.
A lot of money. A lot of money.
That would have been a lot of money.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
I
Absolutely.
wonder who invested in that.
I got news for you.
I hope they fed the homeless with that after it
Me
was
too.
done.
I wouldn't
they
have eaten
better
it.
have.
I wouldn't have eaten it. I've been like that. No, I don't know.
That would have
I just
been
don't know. I'm not eating it.
have all of the homeless show up and eat it.
There you
Boy,
go.
that would have fed some folk.
Yeah.
You ain't
That would have
kidding.
fed some
I tell
folks.
you what, if I'd have been homeless, I'd have been there and cooked leftovers.
Amen.
Cooked- Ain't
Amen.
nothing like cold pizza.
There
It
you go.
lasts for a couple days.
Oh, good vibes. You are spot on. There is no Ryan. Put the camera on me. Put the camera on me. I'm going to make this clear. Okay, folks. There are two things that do not belong on a pizza. I can eat a lot of things on a pizza. I can. These two things have no place being on a pizza. Anchovies.
Huh?
Good vibes. You did well. You did
No,
well. I'm giving you number two. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Pineapple. Pineapple
I'll
does
go
not
with the
belong on a
pineapple,
pizza. Does
but
not.
I love anchovies.
Okay, man.
Oh.
Do I feel better now? Holy cow.
Only pineapple, but you can put the anchovies on there. 'cause
No,
I'll eat
no,
every one of them.
No,
Right
you
on.
cannot.
All right.
Because I am
And
politically incorrect.
let me tell you, I have literally done this. I used to deliver pizza, and I dreaded the day that I'd have to take one that had anchovies. I dreaded it. And I praise God. I'm telling you, I praise God that I had that order. And guess what they wanted? Anchovies on the side. All I had to do was grab a can of anchovies and take it. I was so thankful. So
Man,
thankful.
I can eat all kinds of fish.
Christian mom, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to let you stay connected here, but pineapple does not belong on a pizza. I'm having fun with you. I'm having fun with you. Amen and amen. All right, let's go to the next one, Ryan.
Jay Taylor, right on. Anchovies, no pineapple. We're hanging, buddy. You and I
Oh,
can
my.
eat pizza any day.
This is wild. Oh, this next one's really interesting.
Ricardo Abad.
Yes.
Holy running shoes, Batman. That's a lot of miles. Oh, he holds the world record for consecutive marathons run on consecutive days.
Whoa, whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
Now,
Say that one more time.
yes, now, this is important. Consecutive marathon runs on consecutive days. So,
All right, so before you give it, I would like anybody in the chat to guess how many days in a row he ran a marathon, completed a marathon. By the way, just so that we're clear, a marathon is 26 miles. Okay?
In a row? How many days?
Days in a row that he ran 26 miles.
Ooh.
Days in a row.
You know, it seems to me like he should have taken a day or two to rest, but it doesn't say
would have
that.
I would have agreed.
I would say
I would have agreed. What do you think, Steve?
a week.
Tim Mull. Interesting guess there. We'll give you the answer in a moment. Life Switch, I see you. 37. Okay. I wouldn't have probably even gone that far. I might have said maybe 7, 10. Okay. Are you ready, everyone? I got to vote for 6. Do it, darling.
He is famous for executing the project 500 marathons in 500 days,
What?
in which he completed 500 marathons in
And
500.
the number is actually larger than that.
500 consecutive days. He started on the
That's the first one that he did.
October 2010 and finished on February 12th, 2012. He ran at least one marathon in every one of the 50 provinces of Spain. And so each of the 21,000 kilometers he ran at a rate of €1 each and donated the money to it's ANFAS, and it is a Spanish organization that works in favor of people with intellectual disabilities. That was wonderful. That's a
Incredible.
wonderful donation.
It's an incredible.
Wow.
Because he no longer has any knees or any joints in his leg.
You
I'm
don't know
sure.
that. You don't know that.
I
Excuse
just
me.
can't imagine.
But that goes to our point though of holy running shoes, Batman. Can you imagine the number of sneakers that he went through?
Well, I'm just thinking that what he did to his body.
Here's
That's a
here's
lot
good
of-
vibes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Run, Forrest, run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mrs. Texas Freedom Road. Yeah. Nobody on this panel wants his knees either. No.
And yeah.
No.
No,
Nobody.
no. It's almost unbelievable. I mean, if it
It
wasn't
really is.
recorded,
That's
Yep.
that's
I would have a hard
500
time-
days in
I
a
can't.
row?
It's
Come on,
actually more than
man.
that, guys. If I'm not mistaken, the number is actually around 567. That's
I-
the number going through my mind.
if this was not written down and recorded,
Nobody would believe it.
I would not believe it.
No, I agree.
I'm having a hard time understanding how he actually got
Believe the
through it.
numbers of shoes that guy went through.
Kitty KAG. So let me just repeat this for you. So it's running one marathon per day. How many days in a row? And if I'm not mistaken, and folks, I could be, but I'm almost sure I'm not. The number that he ran in a row was 567. It started out with a 500 and 500. That was a personal goal of his, but it went beyond that. So
Man.
regardless,
Amazing.
it's just unreal to think about how much running that really is.
I hurt just thinking about it.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
tell you what, he could eat that pizza and not have any problem.
Hello,
Probably.
hello.
He could eat it. No,
All right,
not going to gain any weight.
next one, Ryan.
Okay, the next one is, I know he looks like he's in pain, but what he's doing is the longest continuous vocal note. And this is the longest.
Now, before
ahead.
you do that, no, that's great, folks. I want you to think about something. I want you to think about holding your breath. Okay, and how long can you hold it? That's A. B. How long can your brain go without oxygen? Because remember, when you're producing a sound, that's an exhale. Okay, that's air going out. That's not oxygen coming in. Okay, so I want you to listen to what this world record is, because I don't see how he could have done this.
Yeah,
I really don't.
you'd have to practice.
A lot. Go ahead.
The longest continuous vocal note is 2 minutes and 1.07 seconds. Now, this was achieved by Richard Fink the Fourth. He's in the USA in Las Vegas, Nevada. Richard had held the record previously and trained hard to regain the title again. He'd been anxiously planning to regain the title, which he held from 2009 to 2016, since it was beaten by 9 seconds in January of 2016. That's what Richard said before he attempted this. So 2 minutes. I know some of you.
can't fathom
Over
that.
2 minutes.
2 minutes plus.
exhaling?
Yes,
Yeah.
Wow.
Some of you.
That's like he looks like
he's in pain.
having one of those cow moments there
Yeah.
for a second.
I know-
you know.
2 minutes in 1 second.
Did you get that the cow moment? You know.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Steve. I'm trying to catch comments and things here. I
Right
mean,
over the
this
top of Charlie's head.
As a
again. That's
musical
okay, Charlie.
person, just
Yes.
hearing that causes me physical pain when I think about
Amen.
doing
Does
that.
Amen.
I'm sure there's some young
And-
mothers out there that probably think my child's done that longer than 2 minutes.
Oh, dawn of the day. I love that face on there. I love that. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. Hey, Nikki,
And-
we're going to
And
skip
breath
the next
control
one.
is a very important
Oh,
thing
it
when it
is.
comes to singing.
It absolutely
You're
is.
skipping the next one. Why?
I'm going to skip the next because we're running out of time,
Okay.
and I've got to get to Poncho. So, cut number 25, Ryan. Here comes Poncho.
Oh, I love it.
In the,
Oh, punch.
Yes, the largest horn spread on a steer ever measured is
Wow.
127.458 inches. and this was achieved by Poncho. And this is in
Wow.
Goodwater, Alabama on May 8th, 2019. I don't even know, whoever's taking care of that steer, you really got to be careful.
And Nikki and I have had the blessing, Steve, I don't know if you've ever had a chance to do this. We went to a great safari place up in, I want to say, Jefferson, Texas. What's the name of it? I'm going to have to come back with it, folks. But anyway, all sorts of wild animals in there. And they're animals that cannot be out in the wild. They will die. And they've been cared for there. And it gives people the opportunity to feed them.
Yeah,
And we were
preserve.
running, yes. And Nikki and I were running through there in my wonderful truck. And we came along the Longhorns.
Oh, yeah.
And they were dying for some feed. And they're coming up to my truck. And I'm going,
Oh,
please don't
yes.
scratch the truck. Please don't scratch the
Because
truck.
there's no way
Please.
to, because
You
they
can't
can
protect it.
they can
Right.
come right up to your window
They
and
come right
everything.
up to your window and you feed them right out of your hand. It's a lot of fun. But that is a lot of horn right
I
there.
thought-
That's a lot.
That's a lot of horn.
You bet.
How
Yep.
does that happen?
Well, that's just part of their genetic makeup. That's what they do. And
And how does it hold its head up?
a lot
Ryan,
of-
that's a great question.
With a lot of muscle.
I have to wonder, Steve, the brisket on that thing has got to be really good.
I don't
I can
know.
imagine.
It might be. You think so?
Oh,
Yes.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, we're not trying to eat your cow. sorry.
I'm not sure Poncho's even still living.
Well, anyway.
Okay, cut number 26.
Here we go. 2015, the Henson Olsen, a family-owned ice cream company, managed to create an ice cream that is 3.08 meters tall and weighing more than a ton.
Wow.
It had 1,080 liters of ice cream they had to put inside a 95 kilogram cone. In fact, the thing was so big they had to take it by helicopter to Kirstensand,
I
the place where the world record was verified.
This here was eaten by the homeless after the pizza was gone.
Well, actually, it fed 10,800 people at 2 scoops per person.
Yep.
The ice cream actually had 21,600 scoops inside, and that's pretty interesting. That's interesting.
Yep. Oh, hey, comment from Jay Taylor. The horns may be hollow. Just a note, cow horns are hollow.
Yes.
Absolutely
They
are.
are.
I didn't know that.
Yep,
Me
absolutely.
neither.
So they are definitely hollow for
Yeah.
anybody that's interested. Okay, next cut, Mr. Ryan. Okay, before we put this one up. So, Ryan, I need that camera one more time now because I do need to share this. We don't advocate doing these things. And this next one, I definitely don't advocate doing. This is on the edge of brain dead. And maybe it was somebody that was brain dead. I don't know.
Oh,
But I definitely want to make very clear we do not advocate doing anything like
we're
this.
just sharing information.
We're just sharing information, okay? Just sharing. Okay, Mr. Ryan, go ahead. Cut number 27.
Okay, here we go. The longest duration of full body contact with ice: 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 7.
And this is on the male side. The female side didn't quite get there, but it is well over 3 hours.
This happened on April 26, 2025, and I'm going to have my husband pronounce the name. He's from Poland.
Yeah, it's Wojciech Prunski.
Is that like a body laying on the ice?
No, in ice water,
Oh, well, I know
How?
that.
in a big tub.
I know
How?
that sports people that do football do ice baths
Yeah, a lot of, but
to
you know what though?
regenerate muscle tissue.
I'm having a hard time with this because if you've ever watched anything with the Alaska fishing boats or whatever, if you end up in the water in Alaska, how much time do you have before hypothermia sets in?
That's why we don't advocate this.
But see, they only
Absolutely.
do it for like a short period
Yeah,
of
the
time.
sport. Well, that's all you can do it for a short period of time, and it is. There's a lot of health benefits to it. Now, I will tell you, I was following a girl from Russia, and ice swimming. They go they do that a lot over there.
Right.
They do a lot of ice swimming.
Right.
And because she would go to places and that would be their thing. And they said how healthy it was for your body, which I imagine if you have a lot of inflammation and you get into some cold water like that. This is a very long time, and I am surprised that it did not cause health issues.
For sure.
But
Billy
when
the
they
Kid.
do like the,
Hold on, Steve. I got to get this in.
Okay.
Billy Kid.
Sure.
This is funny. I don't know. My one girlfriend was cold as ice, and I slept next to her for 24 hours. No, Billy, that does not count. It does not count. Okay. That's not what we're talking about here. Oh, that is so
Exactly.
A new
hilarious.
world
I'm sorry,
record.
Steve.
New world
that's
record.
good.
That was good.
But I do know that when the sports players and people that do like the ice swimming in the water, and they'll cut a hole and
Yeah.
then they'll swim to another hole, they usually typically do that with very little on.
Yeah, yeah.
Very little, because I know when Eskimos and they fall in the water and they got all this clothing on, that is pretty much a death sentence,
yes.
Yeah, 'cause they got
because
fall.
you got
Yeah.
all these clothes on.
I don't think it's so much
And
about the water, it's
not,
the
it's
time.
not. It's the contact with the temperature.
Yeah,
is
it's
really
Right.
what it is.
It's how long you're in
Yep.
that water because of hypothermia.
Well, darling,
That's-
that was a very educational segment today.
Very.
And thank you very much for sharing that.
Excellent.
I think it was really good. I was going to do the screw tape letters. I want to get to Steve's stuff. So Ryan, we're gonna switch up here, if you'll be so kind, and I'll get you ready here in just a moment. Before we get into this, I do want to share this in case any of you have squeamishness with snakes. You might want to just turn your head from the screen. If you've got kids that are that way, this might not be good for them to be watching. I don't want responsibility for nightmares. You understand what I'm saying? But this segment that we're going to do is Steve's Shenanigans, cut number 41, Ryan. And these are outdoors do's and don'ts. Outdoors do's and don'ts.
I can go shoot me a buffalo.
Nope.
Stay out of my garbage can. I'll keep it to myself.
There we go. Mr. Steve, we're going to do
Yes,
the
sir.
first one here. You just give us a little background on this, and we'll talk through a few things here.
Sure thing. Sure
So
thing.
cut number
Which
42,
one we got
Ryan.
here?
42. Here we go.
All right. Yep. Here we are. This is right after an afternoon hunt. I am way
You're deep.
back in the woods off on what we call the 300 acres on this deer lease. And you can see that the path I take is pretty gnarly, and you have to ride with pretty much laying down onto the handlebars.
So, Steve, would it be prudent to say that you should not ride quickly through an area like this during
That
the
is
night?
correct. On things like this, when you have, and what you're seeing, the bushes are yopon bushes and branches that hang over that have lots of little dead sticks that hang down, and they will poke you in the eyes,
Ooh.
poke you in the ears, in
So
the mouth.
probably a good thing
and
to have would be eyeglass
everywhere.
protection.
I would suggest it at night,
Yep.
especially.
Yep.
A lot of deer in there?
A lot of deer and a lot of pigs. If you look at the ground, the
Mhm.
ground looks like it's all kind of tore up
Yeah,
and
yeah.
turned up. That is from pigs that have been rooting the ground up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the pigs in that section of the deer lease were just unreal. They bedded back up in there and they stayed in that section of the deer lease.
Yep.
And I had a feeder back up in there, and man, I saw so many pigs. I killed so many, You know, I got so many pigs from off of that feeder. It was unbelievable.
I think the one thing that I think we should really urge people to do, if you happen to be out riding four-wheelers, especially at night, you ought not to be running quickly. It's a good way to decapitate yourself. And I'm not trying to be funny.
Right.
It really is. It's very dangerous. And number two, you should absolutely have a helmet and eye protection on for sure, because boy, those limbs, they can come out of
Especially
anywhere.
at night.
Anywhere.
Especially at night.
Yep.
Riding and stuff like that. When I was riding, I literally had to ride laying down onto my handlebars like this going through.
Yep.
Because it was so grown over, and it was.
All right.
I'm telling you, you had to watch out for your face.
You did. I
Big
believe
time.
it. I believe it.
Real big.
Mr. Ryan, let's go to cut number 43, if we could, please. Okay.
Rattlesnake.
Now,
No,
here-
that is
No.
not.
this is a cottonmouth.
Oh, it
And
looks
I'm
like
glad you brought that up, Nikki, because
Look
the
at his
first thing,
tail.
yeah, look at his tail.
Yes. Now, this is not something you should do
No,
with a cottonmouth.
no. Okay,
Okay.
so go ahead, Ryan, pull it off there for and let's emphasize that one more time, Steve, because I don't think most people understand what cottonmouths are prone to do. Most snakes are going to run away.
Correct.
Now that one did, and I was a little surprised.
Eventually, he did.
Okay, folks, cottonmouths will chase you.
Yes.
And
They're
they are
aggressive.
fast.
They're
They are
aggressive.
very fast. They're very aggressive. So when Steve says, don't be doing that with a cottonmouth, holy cow. Can we just say that one more time? Don't do that with a cottonmouth.
So why was Steve doing that with the cottonmouth?
Steve, were you doing that or was somebody else?
Well, I got a friend of mine who's a snake guy, and he likes snakes, and he likes to catch them and stuff, and he's had them for pets and whatnot. So he'll always
He
mess
wants to
with
play
them.
with them.
And what he was doing was showing me, look here, look at this. And what's
So it wasn't you.
really odd, it wasn't me that was doing it. And he was wanting to show me something about them and how they'll kind of act like a rattlesnake sometimes.
Oh, so that's what he was trying to show
and
you.
So
they'll
if you
coil
notice,
up,
yep.
do that, strike.
And he
And,
had his mouth open for a while.
yes,
It didn't
and if you notice, when he opened his mouth, it was super white.
super white.
That's why they're cottonmouth.
That's where they get the nickname Cottonmouth, which is called a nickname for water moccasin.
Do you know, I don't know if I told you this story. And did you ever meet our son, Jason?
A couple of times, yes.
Okay. So when Jason was little, Jason has always liked animals and things like this. And we lived in Florida. And we would go to this park and it had a lake. And every time we went there, that boy either found an alligator or he found
Oh,
a
he finds the
snake.
most unbelievable things.
I had to watch. He was 8 years old. and I would have to watch him.
Mrs. Texas Freedom Road brought this up, and good point. We've got the coral snakes here in Texas, and the reason I stopped Nikki right
Yes.
there is because we had gone up to Huntsville State Park and just did a nice little hike, and Jason's leading the way, and what do we come across? He's like, "Everybody stop, hold up," and here's a coral snake going across. Okay, keep going. I mean, the kid will find anything, and he doesn't even have to try.
No, he doesn't.
It just comes to him.
And you know what? We have my 11-year-old granddaughter, Lexi, loves snakes. I don't know why. And I said to her, Lexi,
A girl
That-
that loves snakes.
she likes snakes. And I said, Lexi, they're gross. They're ugly. And she goes, but Mimi, they have such interesting patterns.
Oh my goodness.
That's what she said. They have such interesting patterns. I love you, Lexi.
Our our deer camp one night, me and Mike, we were up there bow hunting during October, and we walked around the camp one night. It's just he and I up there, and we killed 12 copperheads
Oh, wow.
in one evening.
Okay, so
Then
folks,
the next day, I killed a coral snake crossing the road.
so let's talk about these really quick because I want to get to the other two videos. Number one, cottonmouths are typically black, dark gray, black, and they can. This Nikki brought out the first thing. She thought it was a rattlesnake. Why?
The shaking
Because
leg.
that tail was just a whizzing. No sound,
Right.
no sound, but it was whizzing. And here's the other thing. Do not mess with a cottonmouth. Just don't. They will chase you. They will absolutely chase you. And the last thing you want to be bitten by is a cottonmouth. We're
hurt.
going to hope it'll hurt really bad.
Yeah, it does.
That's if you survive it, and we hope that you do. Many people have, but it can have some lasting implications. So don't mess with them. The other thing I want to bring out here, not all snakes are poisonous.
Correct.
A king snake is an absolutely beautiful snake that you want around. Why? They eat rattlers. And
They
they're
eat-
non-venomous.
They eat
They eat a
pretty
lot of
much all
snakes.
kind of
Yeah,
snakes.
they will.
They're great snakes.
So
to
king
have.
snakes are wonderful snakes to have around. Rat snakes, they're interesting. They're fat.
Yeah.
They can eat a lot of rodents.
Yep.
They can. So I just want to be careful. Copperheads are definitely copper in tone, but not always. And they definitely have a diamond-shaped head. You'll know a copperhead when you see it. Don't mess with those either.
They got interesting, like a
Yep.
little, almost kind of a pattern on their back that goes sideways instead of long ways. It's kind of a diamond pattern that goes sideways across them instead of long ways like a rattler
Yep.
does this way.
Now, Eunice, Duncan, now you stop that. Everyone is coming to Texas. Beware, snakes will get you. Don't move here. Now, let's be careful there. Oh, I love it, Eunice. Thank you very much for commenting. Thank you for everyone for your support in watching the show today. Again, we're on Sundays 1 to 3 Central Time Zone. Okay, and if John Arthur were here, he would tell you that's God's time zone. And you can also catch us on your favorite podcast platforms as well. You can catch us on Rumble. We do like Rumble. We really do. We won't mention YouTube, but you can also catch us there. But Rumble, we love Rumble as well. All right, let's keep going here, shall we? Let's get to the next video. What do we got? Ryan, cut number 44. This is interesting. I had a hard time with this. But hang on just a moment, Steve. I want to let people try to get a good eye on that. And I know what some of you might be thinking. I know I was. This is a dead snake. This is not a dead snake. This is a really interesting thing here.
And it looks almost like somebody drove a pole in the ground almost.
Yep. All right, Steve, give us an idea what this is.
What that is actually what we call a signpost rub that a deer buck rubs on every single year. Now, bucks will typically rub on trees to get, or brush to get the velvet off, and then they go to certain trees and rub their scent on them to mark their territory. Then they have trees that are called signpost trees. They rub on that tree every single year, all the time, and it is a sign that says, this is my area. I live here. Don't you young guys come around here because I'm the guy that lives here.
Okay.
That's in
That's
for
interesting.
somebody that's hunting. That's a primo area.
Oh, big time.
That's
And
you
what
just
was-
struck gold right there.
Big time. That's
Yep.
why I had my hand down, and you could see that it's actually from the picture, you go, oh, well, that's not very big. And then I stick my arm down there and you go, oh, wow, that's pretty good size.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's actually bigger than what it really looks.
Yep.
Which is a great sign. I actually ended up hunting that area, which was close to the trap, a pig trap that I showed you a little video of a
Mm-hmm.
wild boar that I had caught in it. And I had a gentleman at the other end of this little draw that we was in. I was on one end. He was way down on the other end, about 200 yards. He ended up killing that, or should I say shooting that deer. Beautiful buck. He ended up getting it mounted. Oh, it was
Wow.
gorgeous. 10
How many
point?
point?
10 point.
10 point.
Beautiful, beautiful deer. Gorgeous deer.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's go to cut number 45 there, Ryan. And we won't watch all of this one, but go ahead. Now, Steve, this looks like we're back in that underbrush again.
Yeah,
On the
this is a
four-wheeler?
little different area,
Okay.
but what you'll see at one point here is you'll see me going through an area of what looks like I'm going over a number of logs,
Okay.
branches, and areas, and I'll end up going through some mud holes.
I was going to say the mud holes is what I remember.
And the interesting thing about driving through those is you'll see where I drive when I drive through them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's along the edge where I stay and try to keep one wheel to where it's fairly dry.
So, in
And in
that's a don't.
four-wheel drive when I do it
Yeah.
the whole time.
This is a don't that he's trying to give you. You want to be very careful going through muddy areas with a four-wheeler. It's a great way to hang one up, and at night, especially if you're in the cold, this turns into a life and death situation real fast.
And right here, it
Right
was
here it is.
probably about, if I remember right, was it 38 at the time? It was pretty darn cold.
It was cold.
On this particular hunt. It was, if I remember right, beginning of December somewhere, if I remember right.
So, folks, the key
It was
remembrance here, if you're on a four-wheeler at night, be extremely careful going over logs and especially through water holes. If you know the area, that's one thing, okay? And this area Steve knew pretty well. But we're trying to bring this out as something for you folks that may be outdoor adventurous. You want to be very careful about taking a four-wheeler through water.
Well, you just
because
need-
it can be it can turn life and death real fast.
You need to be with somebody like Steve who has experience. You should never do this stuff unless you're with somebody.
No, I would agree with that.
And you could see each time I come up to a water hole, I slow down because
Man,
I'm
that was
putting
a
it in the
fun
four-wheel
ride.
drive. And then I drive through it. And then when I come out, I slow back down. I take it out of four-wheel drive. And then I'm back in two-wheel drive and I'm driving
Now,
regular.
Right.
AOC on here, she's in the chat. She's like, looks like a horror movie. No, that's not a horror movie. That
That
right
is
there,
real life.
That's real life having fun hunting.
Big time.
That's a hunter's dream right there.
I keep looking for Sasquatch. Where is he? Where is he? He's back.
Stop. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. Steve, thank you so much.
Certainly.
That was interesting there. We're going to jump into our Screw Tape Letters segment, and I'm going to try to get through as much of this as I possibly can. And we love the Screw Tape Letters. We've been going through this for a number of weeks now, and I tell you, I think it's a great book to go through. I want to encourage you. If you've not read the Screw Tape Letters, you really should. You don't have to read it real fast. You can just do a chapter a day. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take long. A chapter a day is good. But Mr. Ryan, if we could, let's go to cut number 29. Give an overview of the Screwtape Letters. Screwtape Letters are a series of correspondence between two demons, Screwtape, the elder mentor, and his apprentice, Wormwood. In these correspondence, Screwtape encourages Wormwood in how to tempt Wormwood's human patient, a young man in the World War II era of Britain. In this thread of conversation, C.S. Lewis explores the base temptations of man and how Satan and his tempters may indeed think about how our own existence and how they may work to tempt the souls of men. And today's passage, number 30, Ryan, cut number 30, today's passage, chapter 14, understanding humility. Understanding humility, and a great chapter indeed. So let's go to cut number 31, Ryan, if we could. This is the beginning of chapter 14. Letter 14 highlights the spiritual trap of pride in humility. Lewis brilliantly shows that the moment we become proud of being humble, did you get that? The moment that we become proud of being humble, we've lost humility altogether. You do what I call you've circled back 360, like on a clock. True humility is not thinking less of yourself. Here's the statement. True humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less and appreciating your life and abilities as gifts from God. Boy, what a statement. What a statement. Cut number 32, Mr. Ryan. My dear Wormwood, the most alarming thing in your last account of the patient is that he is making none of those confident resolutions which marked his original conversion. No more lavish promises of perpetual virtue, I gather, not even the expectation of an endowment of grace for life, but only a hope for the daily and hourly pittance to meet the daily and hourly temptation. This is very bad. Cut number 33. I see only one thing to do at the moment. Your patient has become humble. Have you drawn his attention to the fact? All virtues are less formidable to us once the man is aware that he has them, but this is especially true of humility. Catch him at the moment when he is really poor in spirit and smuggle into his mind the gratifying reflection, by Jove, I'm being humble. And almost immediately pride at his own humility will appear. If he awakes to the danger and tries to smother this new form of pride, make him proud of his attempt, and so on, through as many stages as you please. But don't try this too long, for fear you awake his sense of humor in proportion, in which case he will merely laugh at you and go to bed. Cut number 34, Ryan.
Boy,
Go ahead.
You know, it is so easy to get people to be so prideful.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yep.
really is.
And I'll
When
tell
you
you,
compliment people on stuff that they've done, especially with people that have a worldview.
but if you think about this, if you think about being proud at being humble, are you really being humble?
No, but I
No.
can see how you can.
Not at all.
I can see how it happens, and I'm gonna not share any names, but a person brought out a mega church pastor that fell, and they said that he come at the end, he was always so very humble, telling a story, and it was always about himself. The story was always about himself. It was always presented like it was very humble, but it was self-exalting.
Yeah.
Is what it was. And so I can see how that can be a thing.
Mr. Ryan, cut number 34, please. Ooh, excuse me. Very sorry. But there are other profitable ways of fixing his attention on the virtue of humility. By this virtue, as by all the others, our enemy wants to turn the man's attention away from self to him and to the man's neighbors. All the abjection and self-hatred are designed, in the long run, solely for this end. Unless they attain this end, they do us little harm. And they may even do us good if they keep the man concerned with himself. And above all, if self-contempt can be made the starting point for contempt of other selves, and thus for gloom, cynicism, and cruelty. Cut number 35. You must therefore conceal from the patient the true end of humility. Let him think of it not as self-forgetfulness, but as a certain kind of opinion, namely a low opinion, of his own talents and character. Some talents, I gather, he really has. Fix in his mind the idea that humility consists in trying to believe those talents to be less valuable than he believes them to be. No doubt they are in fact less valuable than he believes, but that is not the point. The great thing is to make him value an opinion for some quality other than truth, thus introducing an element of dishonesty and make-believe into the heart of what otherwise threatens to become a virtue. By this method, thousands of humans have been brought to think that humility means pretty women trying to believe they are ugly and clever men trying to believe they are fools. Yeah, I love the statement that was made earlier. Humility, true humility, is not thinking less. It's not thinking, I'm going to screw it up. I want to make sure I get this right.
It's not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that statement's going on our board.
And you know what's interesting? I have a tendency to always bring humility, and I always point this out to a lot of people, not just in Christian terms, but also, and I know to some this may sound like a strange example, but you know, I took martial arts for many, many years, and in teaching, one of the things you end up learning is humility. And if you don't learn humility from what you learn by your height in what you learn, like becoming, you know, a
higher belt,
third, fourth, fifth, sixth degree black belt.
Yep.
If you don't learn humility, it will get taught to you.
Yep.
Believe me.
Yep.
I have seen it get taught. Not only that, I have helped teach humility to some.
Yeah. Yep.
And let me tell you, it is a hard lesson to learn for some, and it gets taught the same way.
It reminds me of that verse. God can bring us low.
Yes.
The low will be made high and the high will be made low.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me keep going here. Cut number 36, Ryan. And since what they are believing, and since what they are trying to believe may in some cases be manifest nonsense, they cannot succeed in believing it, and we have the chance of keeping their minds endlessly revolving on themselves in an effort to achieve the impossible. To anticipate the enemy's strategy, we must consider his aims. The enemy wants to bring the man to a state of mind in which he could design the best cathedral in the world and know it to be best, and rejoice in the fact, without being any more or less or otherwise glad at having done it than he would if he had been done by another, if it had been done by another. The enemy wants him, in the end, to be so free from any bias in his own favor that he can rejoice in his own talents as frankly and gratefully as in his neighbor's talents, or in a sunrise or elephant or a waterfall. What a statement. And I think there's a lot of truth right there. Remember, C.S. Lewis is using, I don't know how to really word this appropriately. He's using an opposite effect. We're taking a look, we're peeking through the lens of Christianity through Satan's eyes. Now, I know that sounds weird, but think about the dynamics of that. Think about what it might look like. And boy, you can really start to put yourself up against these pictures, and you may be going, holy cow, that I don't want to be like that. And I think that's just the ingenuity of C.S. Lewis to present something like this. Again, if you've never read the Screw Tape Letters, I really want to encourage you to do just that. I want to go through one more page here. We're not going to be able to get through all of it, but I do want to go through one more page here, and then we'll close up. He wants each man in the long run to be able to recognize all creatures, even himself, as glorious and excellent things. He wants to kill their animal self-love as soon as possible, but it is his long-term policy, I fear, to restore to them a new kind of self-love, a charity and gratitude for all selves, including their own. When they have really learned to love their neighbors as themselves, they will be allowed to love themselves as their neighbors. Let me read that one more time. When they have really learned to love their neighbors as themselves, they will be allowed to love themselves as their neighbors.
Boy, that's a big statement.
It's a huge statement. For we must never forget what is the most repellent and inexplicable trait in our enemy. He really loves the hairless bipeds he has created and always gives back to them with his right hand what he has taken away with his left.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, do you understand why we really encourage you to read these? Those are powerful statements right there. Very powerful. And maybe you can relate to some of this. I don't know. I hope that in some ways you can. But I want to encourage you to really give the Screw Tape Letters a good read. We're going to stop right there. There's two more big paragraphs, and we're not going to be able to get them done with the time that we should. But Miss Nikki, final thoughts for the day.
I really enjoyed listening about Benjamin Franklin. I really think that people don't take the time to realize everything that he was involved in and how it really shaped our country in many, many ways. From trying to discover electricity, to the post office, to the philosophy that he had, being part of the founding fathers. I mean, there's a lot going on there.
There is. Absolutely is. Mr. Steve.
Yeah, and I'd like to go on top of what it is that Nikki was saying with Benjamin Franklin. That guy, he was like a jack of all trades and a master of all, man. I mean, the guy was just sharp. He had tons of patents. He, the light bulb,
Yep.
Talking to various people over the seas and writing on how to do his experiments verbatim and how to get them done in a different country and giving them away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
how wonderful.
Right.
Let me get over to Ryan. Mr. Ryan.
I like Mr. Steve and Miss Nikki enjoyed talking about Benjamin Franklin because I only really knew him for that one light
thing.
experiment.
Yeah.
He did a lot more.
He did.
And I like what you said, Mr. Charlie, about not being afraid to share your passions with people and how that could really help some people. Absolutely.
Life Switch in the chat. You caught that phrase. You did. Hairless bipeds. And that's a kind of snobbery. Could I say it that way? That Satan has toward each of us, no doubt. And that was a good catch. Hairless bipeds. Sure thing. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. It has been our pleasure to be on here and to share this time with you guys, and trust that we've given you some new things to think about, given you some things that you maybe didn't know, and now you have learned, and I'm really grateful for that. We're thankful for John Arthur. We're sorry that he couldn't be here today. He will be in a few more weeks, and we're looking forward to him getting back. He is out on assignment, and thankful that he's got some good work to do there. He's doing what he has a passion for right now. He absolutely is doing that, and so we're thankful that he has that opportunity as well.
We're going to have a party, a pizza party.
Something like that.